Magnus Booner here. Tonight I'm going to tell you how to make some fire starters for when you're in the woods backpacking and camping. Before I became the enlightened world traveler that you all know and idolize, way back when I was just a rural kid from a small town called Tenino, Washington. Actually, I grew up outside of that town on a street called Mima Acres. It was right where the forest transitioned into prairie farmland. My backyard was a prairie and the front half of the 5-acre property was forested. Part of my rural culture is actually starting fires with used motor oil. We rarely would start a bonfire, especially in my teenage years, without incorporating some used motor oil. Motor oil is made out of petroleum, and petroleum burns really well. During its lubrication process of the engine, it also picks up a lot of carbon, and you probably know that coal is made of carbon, and coal burns really hot, carbon burns really hot, so this is almost a hybrid fuel. You would be a fool not to start a fire with used motor oil. In the modern world, keeping one's culture is very important. It's become a very homogeneous world, and some people are actually ashamed of their culture. Other cultures seem to get celebrated. I really enjoy my culture. I can't say that I'm proud of it, because how can I be proud of something I was just born into? Here is the equipment we're going to use for this project. This is a big can. I believe they call that a number 10 can in the restaurant industry. You can see I bent it so that I've got a spout I can pour out of. I'm going to melt the wax, the paraffin wax, in this can. Over here is a box of dryer lint. I've been saving this for probably close to 2 years. Here's another can, and it's full of a blend of dryer lint, some cotton that was in the top of a bottle of vitamins, and it's all mixed together. I'm going to dump used motor oil into this can and pretty much saturate this lint with the used motor oil. Then I'll take and portion it up into the cups with pieces of cotton string as kind of a wick, and then I'll dump melted paraffin into the paper cups. Then once I'm done, I'll dunk the whole cup and wick into paraffin to make it one waterproof clean unit. So I've got some lint here in my can, and I'm going to add to it an entire quart of used motor oil. Oh yeah, get in there. Oh, that's nice. You can see that's nice and dark. That means there's lots of carbon in it, and that's good because that carbon's going to help this to burn hot. Alright, I got this nitrile glove on my hand here, and I'm just going to start working more lint into this used motor oil. Get that incorporated in real good so all the lint is saturated. Don't want any dry spots. Feels like it'll take some more. And we'll just keep adding in lint until there's no runny oil in the bottom. Some people might think you're a savage for using used motor oil to make fire starters, but those judgmental people can go to hell, because this is part of my culture. Well, I think that's about all the lint we're going to get worked in there. It's starting to get pretty dry, so now I'm just going to work it real good to make sure everything is incorporated and homogeneous as possible. There it is. I don't know if you can see that beautiful mixture. One of the best things you can do for the environment is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's why I've got used motor oil that I'm reusing, as well as lint from my dryer, so I can reuse both of those. As you can see, these fire starters are very environmentally friendly. I've got some of the strings staged in the cups. I'll just put the filling in there like so. Then I got my string right there. I'll use that later when I dunk it. See there? You get the idea of the process. I like to melt the paraffin wax in this double boiler. I'm not exactly sure why I do that. I think I saw my mom do it as a kid making crafts. I believe it's so you don't get the paraffin too hot and start a fire. By the way, I'm not responsible if you burn your house down. That's all on you, dumbass. While we're doing this project, we're drinking one of my favorite beers ever. I like to call this beer Mean Green. Good old Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is a gold standard in the craft brewing industry. You can tell a lot about how competent a brewer is by his opinion of this beer. Most brewers that know what the hell they're talking about hold this beer in a very high regard, and that is because it is always of a very high, consistent quality. Sierra Nevada does a very good job of keeping this fresh on the shelf, and most often you can count on this tasting good when you buy it in the grocery store. In craft brewing, that's kind of the Achilles heel, is a lot of the beers are packaged so poorly they just don't hold up on the shelf. That's not the case with this one. Sierra Nevada is a big company and has a lot of money to spend on their packaging technology. This beer is light, easy to drink. It's got a lovely citrusy hop aroma from Cascade hops. I believe they bitter it with Pearly hops. You can check the website for that. It's just one of my all-time favorite drinking beers. Got my cup set up here, and so now I'm just going to drizzle a little paraffin wax into each one of them. It's important to make sure you don't melt your wicks together. So the final process here is just dipping these to give them a final seal. So I've got my paraffin here, and I'll just dunk it in there. I'll let it cool here in the air for a second just so it hardens on the surface. Then I'll set it on the parchment paper. It's wet, it'll still light. So I hope you've learned a lot from watching me make these fire starters, and you can make them yourself. Just don't hurt yourself in the process. I am not responsible. Go ahead and click the like button, and also subscribe, and thank you for watching.